Paides, meaning foot soldier in Latin, was the most basic and numerous rank in the Roman legion. These infantrymen formed the core fighting force of the empire, renowned for their discipline, training, and heavy weaponry, followed orders from superiors, including officers, centurions, and non-commissioned officers. They weren't responsible for much. They engaged in close-quarter combat with swords, spears, and other weapons, marched long distances carrying heavy equipment, built fortifications and performed other essential tasks, and maintained and cleaned their gear, keeping themselves and their weapons ready for battle. Recruits, known as tirones, underwent rigorous physical and combat training before becoming full-fledged paides. Paides received a modest salary, supplemented by occasional bonuses and loot from successful campaigns. Legions typically served for 25 years, after which paides could retire with a pension and land grants. Overall, the paides played a critical role in the Roman military machine. Their dedication, discipline, and combat prowess were essential for the empire's expansion and defense for centuries. Although they held the lowest rank, they were the backbone of the legion, earning respect and honor for their service. Cornicen tesserarius. A cornicen was a musician playing the cornu, a curved brass horn, to relay battle signals and mark time during marches and camp life. A tesserarius, a junior non-commissioned position similar to a sergeant or watch commander, responsible for administrative duties. They were responsible for important things, like signaling. The cornicen tesserarius relayed important commands across the battlefield using coded horn signals. This was vital for coordination in the noise and chaos of combat. Password management. As tesserarius, they distributed and managed the daily watchword within their century, a unit of roughly 80 men. This ensured proper identification of units and prevented infiltration. Administrative duties. They aided the optio, the centurion's deputy, with tasks like keeping duty rosters, organizing guard shifts, and potentially supervising working parties. Leadership. They could potentially lead smaller detachments of soldiers on specific missions. These individuals weren't just horn players. They held a degree of responsibility and authority within their unit, contributing to the smooth functioning of the legendary Roman war machine. Optio. The optio held a pivotal position within the Roman legion, serving as the centurion's right-hand man and a critical link in the chain of command. The Latin term optio means chosen one, as optios were handpicked by the centurion for their skill and leadership potential. Optio were second in command after the centurion. They took charge if the centurion was injured or killed, ensuring the century, about 80 men, continued to operate effectively. They also had other important responsibilities. Centurion. The centurion was the backbone of the professional Roman army. These seasoned leaders were the linchpin between the army's higher command and the common legionaries, ensuring the Roman military machine functioned with brutal efficiency. They had important command and responsibility like leadership. Centurions led a century, roughly 80 men, with absolute authority in both training and combat. Discipline. Maintained strict discipline, using rewards and harsh punishments, including their iconic vine stick, to keep soldiers in line. Battlefield role. Centurions led from the front, motivating their men through bravery and decisive action. Their position in battle was highly dangerous. Administration. Manage various day-to-day tasks like duty rosters, supplies, and records, ensuring their century operated smoothly. Training. Personally instructed soldiers in combat techniques, weapons handling, and maintaining battle readiness. Centurions were often promoted from the ranks, their skill and courage rewarded with authority. The most senior centurion in a legion, the primus pilus, was a trusted advisor to the commander and incredibly influential. Centurions weren't just officers. They embodied the relentless spirit of the Roman army. Their unwavering discipline, tactical expertise, and willingness to lead from the front made legions the most formidable fighting force of their time. Even the term centurion carries connotations of strength and leadership to this day. Centurio Primi Ordinus. Within the Roman legion, the Centurio Primi Ordinus represented a pinnacle of experience and authority. These were the elite centurions commanding centuries within the prestigious first cohort of the legion. The first cohort held double the men of standard cohorts and was divided into 5 double-strength centuries. Each was commanded by a Centurio Primi Ordinus. These weren't simply experienced centurions. They were the best of the best, battle-hardened veterans with proven leadership and tactical acumen. Besides commanding their large centuries, they acted as advisors to the legion's commander, participating in councils and influencing battlefield decisions. The first among the primi ordines was the primus pilus, the most senior centurion of the entire legion. This highly respected veteran worked directly with the legate, the legion commander, acting as a valuable source of experience and insight. Potential promotion. Service as primus pilus often led to higher equestrian rank outside the legion. The centurio primi ordinis represented the peak of a legionary's battlefield career. Centurio primus pilus. The centurio primus pilus stood as the ultimate achievement within a Roman legionary's career. This wasn't merely a senior centurion, it was a singular position embodying extraordinary experience, leadership, and influence within the legion. The primus pilus commanded the first century of the first cohort, the most elite unit within the legion. This made them the top-ranking centurion of the thousands of soldiers within the force. Primi Pili weren't just good fighters, they were battle-hardened career soldiers who'd climbed the ranks over decades. Their tactical expertise was unmatched. They held a seat on the legion's war councils, directly advising the legate, the legion's commander, on strategy and execution. They led the strongest and most experienced soldiers in the legion, setting an example through their bravery and skill in combat. They maintained discipline and order, overseeing the day-to-day functions of the first cohort, upholding the legion's strict standards. Their insights and opinions on the battlefield were highly valued and factored into the overall strategic planning. Tribunus militum Angusticlavius. The Tribunus militum Angusticlavius was one of 6 military tribunes within a Roman legion, representing an essential early stepping stone for ambitious young men from Roman society's upper echelons. Their name reflects the narrow purple stripe on their toga, marking them as members of the equestrian class, below senators but still wealthy. These were often young men, sometimes in their late teens, with little to no prior military experience. These are youngsters with political ambitions. The tribunate was the first step on the cursus honorum, the ladder of political offices in the Roman Republic. While holding nominal authority, they primarily observed and learned, shadowing the more experienced legate and centurions. They managed logistical tasks, oversaw training, and occasionally led smaller detachments of troops. In combat, they were expected to display courage and leadership, proving their mettle for future advancement. The Tribunus militum Angusticlavius was less about immediate military impact and more about shaping Rome's future leaders. Praefectus castrorum. The Praefectus castrorum, camp prefect, was a unique and senior position within the Roman legion. They served as the third in command, a seasoned veteran with vast experience in logistics, organization, and combat. This position was typically reserved for exceptionally skilled soldiers promoted from the centurionate, often after serving as the primus pilus. Upon obtaining this role, they transitioned into the equestrian class, reflecting their elevated status. They also had other responsibilities like managing camp construction, defenses, sanitation, and day-to-day operations, ensuring legion efficiency even outside combat. Overseeing supply lines, equipment maintenance, and the distribution of resources, keeping the army fed and equipped. In the absence of the legion commander or senior tribune, the Praefectus castrorum could assume full command of the legion. They also maintained training standards and upheld the strict Roman discipline vital for combat effectiveness. In the province of Egypt, where no senatorial commanders were allowed, the Praefectus castrorum was the de facto legion commander, further emphasizing their potential authority. Tribunus militum Laticlavius. The Tribunus militum Laticlavius held a unique position within the Roman legion, representing privilege and opportunity for young men of the senatorial class. They were easily identified by the broad purple stripe on their togas, signifying their membership in Rome's most elite families. Usually in their early 20s, these politically ambitious young men came from wealthy or well-connected backgrounds. The tribunate was a stepping stone, not a reflection of military expertise. Their primary goal was to observe and learn. Officially, they were the legion's second highest ranking officer, serving directly under the legate or legion commander. The Tribunus militum Laticlavius was more about political ambition than military leadership. Legatus legionis, also known as legion legate, stood at the pinnacle of a Roman legion's hierarchy. These hand-picked commanders held extraordinary power and responsibility, embodying the authority of the emperor himself. Legates were always men of senatorial rank, often seasoned veterans with prior experience in military or political roles. They were directly appointed by the emperor, serving as his personal representatives within the legion. The legate commanded the entire legion of roughly 5,000 soldiers, with absolute authority over its tactics, operations, and discipline. They oversaw troop movements, logistics, and maintained order within their territory, effectively governing small provinces. They often interacted with local leaders, negotiated treaties, and acted as representatives of Rome's power in the provinces. In combat, their strategic decisions and personal bravery could determine the outcome of a battle and the fate of thousands.